Hey guys, how y'all doing? It's me, Johnny, and welcome back to another one of our Sorare videos. I hope you guys have been having some good days on Sorare lately, because I surely still am enjoying the hell out of this game. And right now, as things stand, we have won ourselves another reward. Let me show you guys what has happened specifically. So, I have gone ahead and got myself a reward in the past game week, which was a tier 1 with this all-star rare team. So immediately I look at this and think, yes, you've done well. Branching out of Honor 23 was very important for my success to continue on the platform, and I'm extremely happy that it has worked out straight away. But the goalkeeper that I had won previously has gotten us a reward straight away, which is amazing to see. He was part of a lineup including Grimaldo, who hit 92.5, Angulo, who disappointed a little bit considering that he kept a clean sheet right here. Alex Garcia, no decisive, 65.3. The guy is incredible. And I actually watched the Girona game as well, and I was very, very impressed with his style of play. This guy is someone you need to watch out for. He's only 25 years old at this stage, so I think he gets a big move. Apparently, Barcelona want to sign him as one of the cheaper options for their midfield instead of going out and spending millions and billions on whoever needs to come in. But yeah, that guy is quality. Then Juan Bruneta, the forward that we had brought into the club, now a lot more popular on the platform straight away. You can see his price has risen madly, especially the floor price. I got him for 568. Right now, he is listed for above 900 euros. The guy is just incredible as a forward card. You couldn't be asking for much better than this. The guy takes set pieces, does everything on the pitch, and plays in an attacking midfield type of role. So I'm very, very happy that we brought that guy in. And that was the team that got me a tier 1 rare reward. The draft teams, as you guys can clearly tell here, didn't do too well. Defensively, I made the right choices, but in terms of attack, things didn't go as well. Cap 270 rare obviously was kind of destined to fail due to the fact that the Turkish league did not play due to the earthquakes that happened in that region, which once again, I mean, I was back there in 1999. I was in Turkey, in Istanbul, and I was a little kid, and I experienced I think it was 7.6 earthquake back in that day that people still look back at and think that was a horrible time. It happened in a more, how can I say, I guess not as poor of a region as it is now. The region that this earthquake happened in is mostly very, very poor families and communities, and it has been struck badly. So, due to that, we already have over 15,000 casualties, obviously, which is just insane. Prayers to them, and obviously, they are in our thoughts, especially because I've gone through that period myself. I know how much panic it can cause. I know how much pain it can cause, and it's just really, really horrific to see these things happen. And I'm really hoping the entire world can come together and help us because obviously Turkey wasn't prepared for this. They are not ready, as we can clearly tell. People have to come in from the outside of the country to come and help. And I'm really hoping things will go, I mean, smooth in terms of getting people to safety and, rebuilding. It's a whole nother topic, which obviously I want to drag your guys' moods down. But hey, the Turkish team's obviously not playing, probably won't play for at least 2 weeks, I reckon. That is probably going to be something we need to consider. They might even call off the league. I've seen rumors about that. I don't think that happens, but I think there will be quite a delay there. But it's nice to see that players like Cherki, Trezor, and Jonathan Vieira somehow performed. Especially Vieira has been lacking the decisives lately, but he has an amazing matchup coming up against Lugo, who are like bottom of the league. And I am expecting him to get into these ranges once again, especially considering his AA has been quite good lately, and I like to see that. And he had 4 attempted assists there with 4 penalty entries and all that stuff. So I am thinking Jonathan Vieira will do really well in the upcoming matchup. The Liga, I didn't do too well. La Liga Santander as well, not amazing. I was 77 points away right here. 4-3 win for Celta Vigo, and Iago Aspas not getting involved is a big surprise to me. Having said that, Premier League-wise, chose the right keeper and defender. Kevin De Bruyne came off the bench, which surprised me, and Everton smashed Arsenal. I did not expect that. On a 23 rare, very painful, considering I'm only 13 points away from a reward. Goalkeeper clean sheet. Guardiola amazing performance. Barisic did really, really well. Florentino Luis did well. And Florian Wirtz came off the bench. I couldn't believe my eyes. Honestly, I don't understand what the coach is doing. Xabi Alonso is just, not necessarily utilizing him the right way yet. But then again, it might be just due to the fact that they want to ease him into the squad rather than really pushing him forward and, and letting him get injured again. So I guess it is what it is. 329 points, no reward. And then under 23 rare pro, 73 points off of a reward. We can clearly tell Costa, Hilgers, and Musiala have done really well. Sadly, Sanuc did not play. And then Kökçü did not necessarily go ahead and get a decisive. So due to that, I don't know if I would have gotten a reward. If anything, if Sanuc played, I mean, they lost 1-0. And the defensive performance from Beşiktaş was awful, like horrific. It looked very bad in my opinion. So I do think that Sanuc slots straight back into the starting 11 once he is fit. So yeah, that's one thing to keep in mind. Beşiktaş are going ahead and signing some defenders at the moment, which is interesting to see. They brought in a new right back from Kayseri, a player that actually scores well on Sorare. And I am interested to see how that works out for them, because I do think they want to try and fit in as many foreigners into the starting 11 as possible. So bringing in a new right back, a Turkish one, to play in the right back position instead of Rosier will probably mean that Rosier drops out. And then you have one Turkish right back, Wellington or Saiz, one of the two. I don't think is going to play. I think Sanuc goes in there, and then Bingöl could be dropped back into left back with Hagi Ahmetovic and Getson at center midfield, and then bringing in as many of the players from different nations into the attack. At least I feel like that's the plan. But hey, that's just me. We'll see what happens there with the Sanuc situation and Turkey in general. But for now, they are not going to be eligible for game weeks coming up. And yes, I did win at tier 1, and I was extremely lucky. I won Christian Alvarez, who I already sold. I sold him for 411 euros. I'm extremely excited about this sale because that is a very good low tier 1 reward. I'm very, very excited about the fact that I've gotten him, and I got extremely lucky. If we go into the rewards section and we take a look at what people got around me, for once, I was one of the lucky ones. I can't really complain. If this would go ahead and update Sorare data. Come on, lads. My Sorare and everything has been extremely slow lately. Not just Sorare data, but Sorare itself as well, which is a bit of a weird one. But all-star rare, first place got Dusan Tadic, second place got Harry Kane, third place got Bakasetas. Some really, really good rewards that right there. But obviously, I came in into the 77th position, and you guys can tell. Above, like, I won someone worth 0.21 according to Sorare. What did I sell him for? Let me just double check here. I sold him for 0.27. Oh my god. So I got something worth more. Oh boy. 0.27. Who's the first guy that has won something higher? 65th. So I won something that's worth as much as the guy who won the 65th place and won a Coop Miners. That is mental. So yeah, I got extremely lucky. Can't complain at all. Very, very lucky. And for once, I got onto the right side of rewards, because in previous times, I clearly had times where my rewards just weren't really necessarily too good considering where I finished. So I'm really happy with this one and getting a bit lucky. Sold him on just because of the fact he's 37, generally speaking. Now, they do have Alaves coming up in the next game. I was really contemplating keeping him because that would have allowed me to put in another lineup for this upcoming game week. Let me turn on the lights here. I was looking at it. So looking at Alvarez's scores, they were really good. But first of all, Zaragoza is 14th. Now, they don't concede too many goals. Only 22 goals conceded. The least in the league is 15 for a couple of teams. But then there are a bunch with 20 and such who have some really good scoring goalkeepers, including Oviedo and Brat, who I obviously have in my gallery already. And some of these guys score really, really well. And Alvarez was one of them. I mean, look at these scores for a goalkeeper. You have someone that doesn't kill your lineups in like most of the games. So that's really good to see. But he had a big stretch of DMPs here. Then came back with a 91, which is obviously amazing against one of the stronger sides. And you can kind of tell at home, Zaragoza is quite good. Look at these scores right here. I mean, just very few disappointments in there, while away from home, it's consistently all right, but it isn't great. Not too many clean sheets, as we can clearly tell. And he has a game coming up against Alaves at home. Alaves is just like Mirandes, one of the better teams in the league. and I would have expected him to probably concede, but still have a good AA game to reach above 50. But then I continued to look at the rest of the matchups, and I was like, considering that this guy's 37 and he's valued so well, and his auctions have been selling quite consistently here, I thought, you know what, man, just cash in. Just cash in. I know an extra lineup looks very enticing, but sometimes you just got to cash in when you get lucky. And this time I decided to cash in, and I've done exactly that. So we have taken our total rewards current valuation above 8 ETH now, which is incredible to see, considering that my gallery right now is worth 25 ETH. I gotta admit, value-wise, it's not a good time to be on Sorare at the moment. Like, a lot of things are just going up and down constantly. Don't look at your gallery values, guys, especially, I think we had this discussion in our Discord today. If you play limited, please don't expect that your players' values are going to go up. There are just too many cards being minted for too little amounts of players. I mean, if we go in here into the charts and look at the users coming into the platform, we are looking at, with people with 5 cards or more right now being at 126,000. If you consider 126,000 people, where a lot of them obviously do not play limited, you have to think about, like, how many people will soak up or like get these limited cards into their galleries on a consistent basis. At some point, these limited cards are not going to be as desirable anymore because many people already have them and others are not interested in playing limited. So I think the auction rate, I think it's something that Sorare definitely needs to look at. I mean, obviously, Sorare is not all about money, but clearly it plays a big role for a lot of people involved in the platform. I mean, I'd be lying to myself if I'd say, oh, I wouldn't be upset if my players halve in value overnight. I mean, my players have already halved in value. My gallery, I put in 80 ETH, it's worth like 40, not 80 ETH, 80,000, and it's worth 40k right now. So it's 50% loss in value, but that's because I came in at the worst time, made so many mistakes to begin with, and only now stabilized, as you guys can clearly tell, with the amount of victories that we have been bringing in on Sorare. So I look at that and think, okay, I now learned how the market works, which players are actually valuable, which ones are losing value, what is upside and downside to certain players as well. And I try to make smarter decisions. And this page alone just shows it has been paying off. It has been working really well. I mean, just in these game weeks right here, tier 0, tier 0, tier 1, tier 1, tier 1. I mean, it is looking very, very solid lately. So I can't complain because I do feel like I have a gallery that can compete on the highest level. And that's something that really, really makes me happy. Because if you look at the L15s, the L5s of all of my players right here, like a lot of them are above 60. A lot of them and most of them are above 55. And that just clearly shows you that this is a very competitive gallery at this point. But if you are in Sorare for just making money, don't play limited. That's just my own personal suggestion. If your strategies aren't working out in limited and you just see everything constantly plummet, it is down to the fact there is an oversaturation of auctions. That is just how it is. It won't stop. I personally do think that Sorare will continue to drop the prices of limiteds to help onboarding, to help people on the free-to-play side jump into the pay-to-play side as easily as possible by getting the players they want for not as much money as they used to have to pay a year ago when limiteds were launched. I just think that's how it is. And for the upcoming game week, I might need your guys' help. I have been looking into my lineups, and I think I have some good ones in there. So for All-Star Rare, I'm dead set on which team I want to submit. It's Brat at home. At home, Oviedo. He has only had one game where he hasn't kept a clean sheet. So for me, that is a big one. I am putting Brat in there. Then Angulo at home against Pumas. Yes, it's not necessarily an easy matchup, but on paper, Tigres at home is expected to do very, very well here. And Angulo is someone that gets attempted assists. He can put a cross on top of Gignac, his noggin. So I am looking at that and thinking, yep, that is definitely one for me. Triple A on the pick score. Jonathan Vieira, according to Play Sharper's expected scores, he's like one of the top 5 players in there that has the highest expected score, along with Dusan Tadic. So I have potentially 2 of the best looking cards for this game week in one lineup. And I can't wait for this Tadic one. Obviously, some of you guys might not know what the hell happened with this Dusan Tadic situation. Let me show you guys what kind of deal I have gone for in order to bring that Tadic in. Now, obviously, I did sell Muric. That's something to keep in mind. I sold him for 0.83 and picked up Keisuke Osako, the summer GOAT goalkeeper for under 23. He is now back in the gallery. I mean, if you look at all time here, you can see I did buy him at 1,900 euros at one point, and now we have bought him back in at 1,300. In terms of ETH, I think it's about the same, 1.05. I got him for the first time, and now I got him for 0.86. So yeah, Osako is back in, and I am hoping that I can get some really, really great scores off of him. He is such a good option for the summer, probably the #1 option. I think PSU fans agrees on that as well. But going back into the transactions here, let me show you guys what I've done for this swap specifically. So for this swap, I have gone ahead and given Banditos. I have given him the players like Ersin Destanoğlu, who hasn't moved, who is going to be the backup for Beşiktaş. He's not going to get playtime because Mert Günok is playing really, really well. So I lost about 1,000 euros on this card specifically, which sucks, but you got to cut your losses and move on. So Destanoğlu was let go. Branthwaite was let go. Now, the initial thing with Branthwaite, now apparently he scored 2 goals in a cup or something. I like Branthwaite. Do not get me wrong. I really, really do like him. But I do think there's a very, very high possibility of him going to Everton next season and probably playing there. Now, having said that, with Sean Dyche over there, I do think there's a good chance that Branthwaite actually does well at Everton, a team that will probably set up extremely defensively. So that's another thing to keep in mind. But for this season specifically, Boskagli is back soon to play for PSV Eindhoven. That worries me because Boskagli, for a very long time, was an amazing, amazing defender for PSV Eindhoven. And I do think he will be back anytime soon. Oh, hold on. Look at these. Wow, people are buying up Boskagli. It's interesting. So Boskagli back in the day when he was actually a fit player. You can see the scores of the guy. He's really, really good. And then there's going to be competition between Branthwaite, Obispo, Ramalho for the other centre-back position. Whoever makes a mistake can be rotated straight away. And I don't want rotations. I really like Branthwaite. I still think he's great, but I had to move him on. Jordan Bayer was part of that deal as well because, in my opinion, Burnley just don't look as good defensively. After I sold him, he got a 61-point game, which is obviously good. Don't get me wrong. Very, very good. But I do think that Burnley, without THB, watching them, the eye test, they don't look as good defensively. That's just my personal opinion, but we'll see what happens there. He might still be great, but then again, he's going to go back to Gladbach next season. No one knows the future of Jordan Bayer. So he might, just like Muric, have only utility left for half a season. So yeah, I went for it, and I think it was the right choice. And then going in with Sanuc, because I already have a super rare. I don't think his rare scores are good enough, but his super rare scores are usable. So for that reason, I have let go Sanuc as well. And Xavi Simons, as much as it hurts, as much as I love the kid, as much as I believe in his talent, I just don't see as many decisives in his game like other midfielders, especially considering his price. In my eyes, he is overvalued. I personally 100% think that Xavi Simons will come down to like 0.6 ETH at some point, unless PSV get it together now and he's all of a sudden absolutely flying. He is the best player in that team, in my opinion. He is great. He is a bright spark within that squad, but I just don't see it happening. And I think another one of our viewers, or another one of the guys that I know, Tofturn right here, he had a super rare and he cashed in on it as well. He sold it now as well. So a lot of people seem to be hopping off the Xavi Simons bandwagon. He just doesn't have set pieces, and midfielders without set pieces, it's just, the upside is really capped. I mean, he has to get decisives, and even if he does, it's 70s. It's not 80s, 90s, 100s. It's 70s. So for that, I just had to move him on. And I think at the end of the day, my gallery was in desperate need of an amazing, amazing striker for the All-Star region, and now we have him. Dusan Tadic, after I got him, he got himself a 92-point game. Tadic is insane, and the specific reason as to why I wanted Tadic is because they have great games coming up. Waalwijk at home, Sparta at home, Union Berlin midweek at home, where he can easily get 60 plus again. Then Union Berlin away from home, which will be a bit tougher. Vitesse is a good matchup. NEC is a good matchup. Heerenveen is a decent one. Feyenoord, obviously, is going to be a struggle, but who knows where Ajax will be by that time, because Ajax do look better now with the new coach. And then Go Ahead Eagles, Fortuna, Emmen. Like, there are so many games where I can expect Tadic to hit 80 plus. And that's the reason why I got him into the team. So I am really, really hoping to see that Dusan Tadic extends his contract at Ajax by the end of the season, past 2024 if possible, because he is just so freaking good. And even if he continues to smash it up until maybe, let's say like this point, up until Emmen, I might get rid of him at that point. Like, that is probably the cutoff point for me to move on Dusan Tadic. If he still holds value at that point in time, I am interested of cutting it off then, because he has PSV, AZ, Utrecht, Twente to finish off the season. I think that's probably going to be a very, very good cutoff point, even possibly selling him before this Emmen game, because people will see him as a very, very valuable asset at that point. So yeah, I am looking at it and thinking, yes, for this season, I have the best striker on the platform along the likes of Mbappe, Messi, and all those guys. He is one of those that can compete with those big names. And yeah, he had to be brought into the club, and I'm extremely happy and looking forward to see what this team specifically can achieve this week, considering the matchups that I have there. Then moving on from the All-Star team, I want to show you guys the Under-23 rare specifically. This one I'm still struggling with. I haven't made my mind up on it 100%. We have Pandur in there with a great matchup against Emmen, even though it's away from home. I think he'll have plenty to do. Umar Soleh back with the comeback. Salzburg at home against Lustenau. Lustenau have let go of Teixeira, who is like one of their good attackers. He has moved within Austria. I think he has gone to Sturm Graz, if I'm not mistaken. So Soleh has a great matchup here at home. I don't know why he has that D on it there, but yeah, probably should be a AAA matchup. Nakamura away from home against the 10th position team in the league. Nakamura playing in the cup, and they have won. They are through into the next round. And I have 10% on the guy, so he is amazing for this one. Jamal Musiala against Bochum. Musiala with a ridiculous goal against Wolfsburg, obviously. And yeah, looks to be back on form, which is huge. And then Enzo Fernandez, who did exceptional in his first matchup for Chelsea, now against West Ham in a much better matchup. And I do think that is going to be a banging game there. Even though it is away from home, I guess you couldn't really consider it to be a much better matchup, but technically on the league table, that is a better one. Now, I do have other options. I do have players like Gvardiol, Barisic specifically at home. I think he hits another 60 plus. Trezeguet against Antwerp, actually. I do think that Trezeguet will do well there. I think Genk are going to smash Antwerp. I know on paper it looks like a tough matchup, but I have a feeling that Genk is going to win that game comfortably, like 3-1, 4-1. But yeah, that is the team that I've put into Under 23 rare. And then we have the capped team, which just looks insane. I mean, I still have 10 points according to Sorare data. I have Diogo Costa. I have De Ligt in here. Can I put in someone else instead of De Ligt? I could technically put in Barisic, but De Ligt against Bochum. One would reckon that that is the game where Bayern gets a clean sheet finally, and De Ligt could easily score off of a corner. So on paper, I think that's the best matchup anyways. Gvardiol could have a really good game as well. Leipzig has been on fire, but Union Berlin is no joke. So yeah, I think I'll keep it this way. Kökçü in there against Heerenveen. Obviously, Kökçü just played in the cup. It was an insane game. Feyenoord did get through into the next round. I think it was 4-4 by the 120th minute. And then penalties where he had to score the first pen, which he did. He did score a game during the he did score a pen during the game as well. So yeah, Kökçü right now is doing really good. The captain of Feyenoord is still bringing up good performances. And then I've gone with Florian Wirtz against Hoffenheim. Hoffenheim struggling big time right now. They have just let go of their coach. They have brought in a new one. Obviously, we could see the new manager bounce. But I do think that Leverkusen have a really, really good chance here of winning this game. And after the debacle in the last game, I think Wirtz has to start. There's no way around it. Offensively, they just didn't look good enough, and Wirtz is going to be the one to change that. And when he came on, he did change it, actually. And then Ryan Cherki in the cup scored an amazing goal again. Olympique Lyon's Wonder Boy is the one to watch at the moment, and he could be the captain here, or Kökçü could be the captain. But yeah, I think these guys have some great matchups in them. And depending on which captain I pick, That person has to be the highest scoring player in this team. If you pick the wrong captain in the 270 cap mode, you might as well stop because that makes such a big difference. The 50% bonus you get on them is just ridiculous. So for me, that is the team that I possibly put in. Again, I do have some other options, especially Brunetta. That is such a banging option. But yeah, I don't know how to fit him in. I could possibly put in Trezor, right? I could put in Trezor, and then I could possibly take out one of these lads, I think. What about if I take Chatki off? Can I put in Brunetta? I could. I could actually put in Brunetta as well. I mean, yeah, you can clearly tell I will probably end up having an amazing Cap 270 rare team. I will have to say, though, Porto against Sporting is not a game that fills me with confidence in terms of a clean sheet, but I think Costa will have a good AA game. I think there is an easy 50 plus in there for him because that will probably be a banging matchup. But yeah, we have some matchups there that I really, really like, and these are going to be the teams that I will probably line up. If you guys have any thoughts on them, let me know in the comments down below. Now, for me personally, right now, I have about 0.27 ETH in the gallery after selling the goalkeeper. And I do think the smartest thing I can do right now is to save up. Sell the rewards, save the ETH. Sell the rewards, save the ETH. Because right now, I'm set up extremely well in All-Star. I'm set up really well in Under 23. The only place where I am struggling is the super rares. Because, obviously, Getson Fernandez and Sanuc right now are questionable. We are struggling there to know when these guys are going to be back, if they ever are going to be back. Then I have Minance, who has just joined AZ Alkmaar, played in the Cup for 100 minutes in a starting 11, which is a good sign, but he did miss a huge chance, or maybe even two. So that worries me a little bit, especially with other players coming back from injury. Minance might just be a bench sitter for now because he couldn't establish himself straight away. But if he does play this weekend, if he's expected to play, that would make me very happy. So let me just double check Play Sharper here. What do they say? What are we saying about AZ Alkmaar against Excelsior? Because that is a good one. 60-40. Oh, that's a tough one. Now, I think, as much as I like Minans, Mihailovic has proven his worth to this team by getting a bunch of decisives already. I would be extremely surprised if Minans plays ahead of Mihailovic. I don't know. I feel like that'd be a bit harsh on Mihailovic, especially considering that he was in that starting lineup before Minans came in, and he's a new transfer as well. So, that's a tough one, man. That's a really tough one. If Minans plays, we'll see what happens, because I do also have the opportunity of putting up a pretty good, maybe an amazing Under 23 Rare Pro team. Because if Hilgers is fit, if he is capable of playing, that means I have Hilgers and Minans for the Under 23 Rare Pro. That right here would be such a banging combo because both of them have amazing matchups. Hilgers against Volendam, Minans against Excelsior, and both playing at home, I think. If I get more and more confident that these guys will for sure be playing, I will probably put in an Under 23 Rare Pro team over a regular Under 23 Rare. It is a bit risky, but let's say these both actually start. I think there's a huge opportunity in cashing in on some massive scores there. So I probably would have to change up some of these lineups. I'd probably go Pandur, Cholet, Minance, and then who do I want? The other one is Hilgers, and then Musiala up top. And then probably shift some other pieces into possibly Cap 270 Rare, or go with a different team in a different division. All those thoughts are still going through my head. I haven't made my mind up yet. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how these lineups change as we do move forward. Matchups wise, for the upcoming game week for 3-4-5. Bayern Munich all the way at the top, Ajax in second place. Then you have Napoli, Salzburg, AZ, Twente. I mean, that is very enticing, isn't it? I'll see what happens. I'll be keeping up with the news as much as I can. It's going to be risky to play on a 23 Rare Pro, but it could pay off better than anything else. Having said that, though, the Under 23 Rare team that I have put out there and shown you guys, it's not bad either. That team could easily get a huge reward as well. So I need to make my mind up. Do I go safe? Do I go risky? I don't know yet. And by the end, if I am smart, I should probably go safe. But that is it with me. The goal is to save up ETH and buy an amazing super rare through auctions because they seem to go quite cheap lately. And yeah, I'll be working my way towards it. I hope you guys have a lot of fun with the upcoming game week. And yeah, catch you guys next time. Take care. Peace.